Welcome into Mental Notes Live. On today's episode, I've got finance and credit expert Timo Wilson, and our musical guest for today is hip-hop artist Kid Friendly. DJ Wood, take us in. Thank you guys so much for joining us on today's episode of Mental Notes Live. I'm your host, Ryan Hale, and on today's episode, I am so glad to have with me local finance and credit expert, Timo Wilson. Timo, so glad to have you on the show, man.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir, bro. And for people who follow you, like myself, on social media, you call yourself the Credit Wolf. That's right. So explain that to me, man. Why you call yourself that?
Well, I wanted to brand myself credit guru, right? Okay. Because I've been in the finance sector for a good, 7 to 10 years now. But in order to be called a guru, I feel like your audience has to stamp that on you, right? Right. So as far as the credit wolf, I'm a lone wolf, right? I'm a lone wolf. I'm a people person, so it's kind of contradicting, right? But I'm a lone wolf. But as far as that's concerned, I feel like I've paved a way in the credit industry that most people can't figure out as of right now. So I feel like I run and walk alone in the credit industry as far as a lot of my company's processes, a lot of my strategies that helps thousands of consumers out. So then of course, the brand awareness, right? I mean, I have the company ASAP Credit Solutions, but when it comes time to diversify myself as an individual, I feel like the Credit Wolf, it was the best thing that could fit me. That's kind of why I got the black and gray going on,
Yeah, got the whole wolf appeal going. Yeah, that's right. I like it, bro. I like it. And you said yourself, you've been in the finance and the credit industry for about 7 to 10 years now. Right. So tell me about that, because obviously it's something you're passionate about. If people check out ASAP Credit Solutions, which we'll talk more about in a little bit, that's something that you're really passionate about. So tell me where that passion kind of came from and what got you into this industry.
Now, I would say more so obsessed at this point, okay? But here's the background of the story. 2012, 2013, I got into the automotive industry, the car business in Oakland, California. Gotcha. And I started at this little subprime dealership. They're no longer in business. They specialized in helping consumers with like less than a 550 FICO score. Okay. So here I am, new in the car business, and the first thing we would do is we'd sit the client down and right away run credit, okay? Because we're not gonna waste our time if we don't feel like we could get you approved. And I kid you not, I was seeing 10 to 12 people a day, and I have a heart. I mean, you got moms getting dropped off in taxis with their kids, and I'm telling them, hey, I can't get you approved, and literally desperate and begging for a car. So I remember one day, I didn't know anything about credit, right? I didn't even have a bank account at this time. Wow. And my best friend Roger, he said, he drove a Lexus and Infiniti. I was like, man, what do I got to do to have cars like that? He's like, let's check your credit. So we checked my credit, and the first number started with a 4. Okay. So he was like, yeah, pull out secured credit cards, things like that. But instead of following his advice, I'm self-taught with a lot of things I do. And I just started reading about credit, and I started reading about disputing and all these federal consumer-based laws designed to protect us. And I ran into this guy that had these letters, right? And I bought it from him. I started filling out my negative accounts, and I started mailing everything in. And month by month, I had negative items falling off my credit report. And I was like, wow, this works, right? So I finally was able to get approved for my first car, and then I started testing it on my friends, on my family, and things of that nature. So I started, 2012, 2013 in the credit industry, but I saw a future in the automotive industry. I wanted to be a general manager of a car dealership, right? Gotcha. Now, in 2017, 2018, I was already in finance, working with the banks, getting the clients approved for the autos they just drove off the lot with. And I said, you know what, that credit thing I used to do might be an added benefit I can offer to my clients here. Mm-hmm. It's something that no other finance professional is doing. Right. So I started doing that part-time, and I seen the value, how happy people were being able to refinance their loans, everything like that. And 6 months later, I just happened to fix this one guy's credit. I got him approved for a brand new Corvette. He got his home built out of Orlando, Florida. Wow. Little that I knew is that he managed 3,000 employees. When he started showing people, he went from a 580 to a 750 and what he was able to buy, my phone started ringing off the hook in the car business. So the company blew up. He forced me to quit corporate America. And at that time, this was July of 2019, I just quit. I packed all my things in my finance office. I quit the car business and I just took that leap of faith. I literally had $1,200 in my bank account. My bills were about $4,000 or $5,000 a month. Wow. And my business was doing about $4,000 or $5,000 a month. I said, worst case scenario, I could just pay my bills while I build, but let me see what I could do if I focus on this full time. Right. And credit is so interesting. You know, they don't teach us credit in school. They don't teach us taxes in school. They don't teach us entrepreneurship in school, right? So I think why I'm so passionate about what I do is simply because I figured all this stuff out on my own. And it's so interesting when you know in depth really how these collection agencies work, creditors, the credit bureaus, because little that people know, right now data is worth more than oil, right? And the bureaus are privately owned. And their job is to collect as much data on you as possible, which can either help your buying power and saving tens of thousands of dollars on interest, but for most people is designed to hurt you because they know you can't find the real answers on Google.
Yeah, got you, man, and that's very true. And what's crazy, like you said, is that's something that we don't get educated on, is credit, entrepreneurship, finances, things like that, especially in the Black and brown communities. Because like myself, I was somebody who just started kind of building credit recently because I was somebody with the mindset, if I could buy everything straight out cash, I thought that was the way to go. You know what I mean? But for people like us who grew up in communities, like I said, Black and brown communities and different things like that, when it comes to minorities who don't have that education, why do you think it's so important for us to learn as early as we can about either repairing credit or getting credit, things of that nature?
Well, simply, I feel like the Black and brown community is targeted when it comes to credit, knowing that we're not the most educated individuals, which allows corporations and banks to take advantage of us. And it's generation after generation after generation. The reason why it's so important, like at this point in my life, I'm the first individual in my family to break 7 figures with no partners, no investors, no anything. And I feel like I broke a generational curse that's going to open my family up to wealth now in the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years, right? The reason why it's so important is because, let's be honest, right? Most Black and brown communities are in low income areas, right? On Section 8, EBT, et cetera, et cetera. But if we continue to educate each other on financial literacy, the credit, the taxes, the entrepreneurship, I use the term OPM, other people's money. It's like, even when I was in corporate America making 6 figures a year, do you know how hard it was for me just to save $10,000, which isn't a lot of money? But on the flip side, if I was educated on how to have my FICO score 720, 750, I might be able to go ask Bank of America for $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 and start my own, could have started my own company 5, 6 years ago, right? So if we get in the habit of learning these things now and teaching our kids how important that 3-digit FICO score is, it's just gonna set our future generations up for wealth. Not only that, right? Think about it. If you're 15 years old and your mom and dad put you on their authorized user credit card and start building your credit at 15, which you can do, and then go on ahead and file an LLC by the time you're 18, or have your kid working for your LLC when they're 15, 16, 17 years old, which is a tax write-off when your kid is working for you. I mean, you're just setting your whole family up for wealth, and that's what the 1% know. The 1% didn't get born into you know, a trust with a couple $1 million in there because their dad worked at Ford or something like that. They know the system.
Yeah, exactly. It's all systematic.
And we're targeted by a system that's designed to hurt us, which is like the prison system, right? Not the credit system.
Right. Very true. Very true. All systematic when it comes down to it. But the best thing that we can do, like you said, is people like yourself educating other people and kind of teaching them the system that we talked about. And outside of ASAP Credit Solutions, because we'll touch on that here in a little bit, but outside of your company that you own, helping people with credit, you also teach classes on credit, on finance, things of that nature. So when it comes to that education side of it, why do you feel like it's so important for you to kind of take away your time from the regular day-to-day of the business to go out and teach other people as well?
Being of service to others. You know, you have to get to a point where it's no longer about the money. It has to be about people.
Right.
I feel like I'm very blessed. I'm very gifted. And I feel like I want to share my blessings and gifts with the world. And now at this point, I mean, just inspiring people and teaching them what I know that might be able to shorten their learning curve, let's say 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, or put them in position to not have to face a lot of the obstacles I had to face really learning this on my own is what warms my heart. And when you're driven by purpose, there's no end to the journey. I say success is a journey, it's not a destination. Right now I have no stopping point. My goals are to inspire and help millions of people in my lifetime, right? So if I can teach you something, and it's happened plenty of times, I wake up in the morning, a lot of my clients are on the East Coast. Timo, thank you so much. Thank you. That's what warms my heart, right? And at the end of the day, I mean, you know, help one, teach one, right? Something like that. Help one, teach one. The more we can teach, the more open we are with our knowledge to help others get ahead. I mean, let's be honest, that's how legends are born. You know, you can't be greedy and selfish with what you know. But I can fix your credit all I want to, but if I can't fix your mindset, it's never gonna work.
Yeah. That's what it's all about, man. It's mindset. And you said something about kind of living in your purpose, which is so amazing, because it's one thing to kind of live in your passion and be about your passion, but it's a game changer once you start living in your purpose, because like you said, it's no end to that. You're able to kind of connect with other people and kind of pull out the full potential of that purpose, which is amazing. And it definitely sounds like that's something you're doing. And one way you were doing that is through ASAP Credit Solutions, which is your company. And you started that towards the end of 2018, correct?
Towards the end of 2018.
Okay.
So 2018, I officially filed the LLC.
Gotcha.
I was still working in the car dealership, and that's when I was just running it part-time.
Okay.
July 2019 is when July 4th of 2019 is when I officially quit and went full-time. And I started my little 400 square foot office in my home in Avondale.
Wow.
And even the first month, I was blessed. I said, wow, you know? And I got to the point, you know, after 3-4 months, I mean, I started getting comfortable. You know, when you work from home, you have to discipline yourself.
Right.
It's super hard. You know, you're motivated at first, and then, you know, the money's coming in, and then it's like, well, I'm all by myself. You know, what else can I do? I say, you know what? I'm up for another challenge. Let me turn this into a real company now, rather than, there's a lot of credit consultants, you know, work for themselves, work out of a little office, work from home. And that was all fun and well, but I said, you know what? I'm helping a lot of clients, but how many people can I employ now and elevate their lifestyle? And how big can I really make this thing, since I feel like I have gold on my hands? So yeah, you know, July 4, 2019 full-time, October 2018 part-time, and we just had our 2-year ribbon cutting ceremony in November.
Wow, well, congratulations. And you're talking about taking that leap of faith, because like you said, started part-time in 2018, and then you took that leap of faith in 2019. So tell us about that mindset, because we talked a little bit about that. What was that mindset like, or your faith like, in a way, for you to just be able to say, like, I'm just gonna do this thing full out, no matter what happens?
Oh, brother, you're talking about being scared?
Yeah.
I was scared.
I know it.
Because, you know, in the automotive industry, I was so used to making, no matter what, so much money, right? But what I didn't have was my time.
Right.
I was working 6-7 days a week, 60, 70, 80 hours a week. My friends, family never see me at birthdays, parties, quinceañera, anything, right? So when I officially quit, my mindset was, I don't care what needs to happen or what has to happen. I have to make this work. And what's ironic is that summer I had, because I co-parent, I had my daughter. And the summer before, I was in the car business. So the little summer I had with my child, I really didn't even get to see her but one day a week when I did have her. So when I had her and I quit, I remember her sitting in the office with me, and I just looked at that little beautiful face and I said, I can't fail because of her, right? So my mindset was, I have to make this way work no matter what. And at the beginning, don't get me wrong, I worked 7 days a week. I worked 18, 20-hour days, because I was a one-man operation. I did all the marketing, all the consultations, all the customer support, all the disputing, all the everything, right? I was at the post office 3-4 days a week, and I noticed week by week I was growing. And what's funny is my friends from the car business, even one of my best friends now that works for me, he's one of my top sales guys, he would come over and he thought I was crazy. I'm sitting there sometimes in just my wife beater and my underwear, my do-rag, with my whiteboard, all these names and dollar amounts and papers everywhere in this little office, and he's like, Timo done lost his mind. See, but I feel like God blessed me with a vision. Like I'm able to see things before they happen. And I seen where I was headed. So I said, okay, as long as I follow my process, I don't give up, I continue to build, I continue to reinvest, but most importantly, I deliver more value than what I'm charging, and people love what I do, and it's genuinely helping people. The more 5-star reviews I get, the more results I put out. And I was begging people at the time to fix their credit for free, like big time mortgage brokers, realtors, influencers, and they're like, you're just a little credit guy. They didn't want my business. But the people that God sent to me, and I religiously fix their credit and help them get approved for like a home, a car, get some funding, the word just got out. And God supported my business, the universe supported my business, and sent all the right people for me to elevate. So the mindset was crazy. You have to have a relentless work ethic. You have to have a mindset that you're telling yourself, no matter what, if I have to work 24 hours a day, 23 and sleep 1, right? If I have to work 7 days a week, if I have to go to that networking event, if I have to wake up every Saturday and go shake hands with people I don't know, strangers supported my business for me to get to where I was at, because my friends and my family just weren't messing with me.
Man, that's amazing. And like you said, they thought you were crazy at first when you kind of started that. So, and I love that because I recently started my own video company too, quit my full-time job. And it's always interesting to me because people in life today in society, they're stuck in that normalcy. So when you kind of go off and start your own thing, people look at it as crazy. And for me, I know some people were like, oh man, it's crazy. You're quitting your full-time job, quitting a steady income. But I was like, I'm on that right track, because it's always crazy until it happens, especially when you have that faith that it's going to happen and that you're going to be provided for and stuff like that, like you have with your company. And I mean, like you said, you started the company a little under 2 years ago now. And now you have partnerships with Comerica Bank recently, where you're able to help their clients with repairing credit. So how were you able to not only keep your business afloat through the pandemic that's currently going on, but also able to grow your business as well?
Well, sad to say, during COVID-19, when your consumers are paying late on their payments, when they're racking up credit card debt, when they're charging accounts off, that actually helps my company. We're in Yahoo Finance in 2020 because we grew over 400% during COVID-19. The numbers were ridiculous, right? But at this point, I mean, I worked in my company for so long. I wore every single hat, from sales manager to sales to doing everything, right? Now I have a team for everything that needs to happen. So my prime focus on growth of the company is now strictly partnerships with larger corporations. We just did Comerica Bank. We have 6 brokers here in the Valley as far as car dealerships. We have 3 mortgage loan companies. We have 5 realtors. We do all the local sheriff's credit. The growth, I mean, is results. You know, if you can show people what you have works and how it's changing lives, and you don't act too good once you reach new heights in your company, you're always willing to pick up the phone, you're always willing to be of service to other people, your company is going to grow. But most importantly, when you have employees, you need to invest in your employees. You need to make sure that your working culture is an environment that people want to be there. Like right now, we're in a group chat. I have 4 guys at the office on a Saturday willingly. I didn't ask them to, I didn't force them to, they're willingly there. My employees' lives are changing through this company as well. The first 4 that started with me all bought brand new cars, all were able to get their new apartment or new home, right? And we're talking entrepreneurship, creating different streams of passive income while they're working for me as well. So I feel like most importantly, if you treat and invest in your employees and your people that work for you and they're happy, that's going to transmit through your clients as well, and the level of work they do for you, and automatically your company is going to grow. Last but not least, while most of my competitors were cutting marketing budgets and taking a step back using COVID as an excuse, I tripled up on marketing. Right? I took even a bigger risk to give me that leverage during these times to reach more people, because I had that faith and that vision that, hey, while these guys are slowing up, I'm gonna put the pedal to the metal. Same thing in November and December. It's supposedly our slow months. We had record-breaking months in November and December for not only sales, but the amount of clients we completed in our program, because I hired more staff. I tripled up on marketing. We got way more aggressive with disputing. So you also have to know your market, you know? Yeah. You have to know your competitors, what they're doing in certain times of uncertainty, and you have to just take that big risk. I'm a risk taker. Yeah. I'm not scared, because if I lose it all today, I know I could get it right back. It's not about the money. I have the skill set.
Yeah. That's true, man. And you talked about times of uncertainty. What are people doing? And I always tell people, real faith is tested in times of uncertainty. Right. So it's like you said, taking those risks, taking those leaps of faith, and that's when you are able to see those results. Because you're obviously grinding, obviously putting the things in place. So now you're able to see the results, which is amazing, man. Right. Before we let you go, bro, because we've had an amazing conversation, but in terms of maybe a tip or a quote, or I like to call a mental note that you can leave the audience with, whether that be about credit, finance, entrepreneurship, what would you like to leave the audience with today?
So the quote I want to leave the audience with today is going to be, success is measured by how many people you help become successful, and in return you'll become successful, right? Your success is my success is no longer measured of what I'm doing for myself. It's how many people am I helping reach their goals? How many lives am I impacting as far as in a positive way? And in return, just karma, the universe supports me and takes care of me, right? So always remember, on your journey of entrepreneurship, don't think about you, don't think about the money. Take all that out of your head. Think about how many people can I help and impact through my services or my product, and you can't fail.
Man, nothing else to say after that, man. Man, well said. Beautiful. Let the people know where they can find you at, though, or you or ASAP Credit Solutions.
Yeah, so my personal Instagram is @thebankrobber, TheBankRobbr. That's an interesting Instagram handle because we're legally robbing banks. When we're turning 580s into 750s, the banks can't make that much money off interest. So we're legally robbing banks, not illegally, right? You could reach me on Facebook @Timo Wilson. You could research the company @ASAP Credit Solutions, Facebook as well. Unfortunately, our Instagram was just disabled with 100,000 organic followers because we have a lot of competitors hating right now, which is okay. It didn't slow us down. And then our website is www.asapcreditsolutions.com.
Man, amazing. Amazing conversation, guys. If you're tuning into this, man, please go check this man out. Amazing. When it comes to mental notes, this is what it's all about: faith, mindset, and progress. Thank you so much, Timo, for joining me, bro.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much,
yes, sir. Our musical guest for today is somebody that I saw on Instagram performing locally here in Phoenix. And when I saw him, it was somebody that I had to have. So please put your hands together for hip hop artist Kid Friendly.
It's hard to be a G when you stand true to G-O-D. It's hard to be beneath when you're trying to reach the T-O-P. It's hard to take a seat when you're standing on your own 2 feet. I ain't trying to keep the peace, I'm trying to get you out of your sleep. I ain't trying to keep the peace, I'm trying to get you out of your sleep. I ain't trying to keep the peace, the peace, the peace, the peace. It's hard being simple, but being simple is hard. It's like being a monk versus being in foreign cars. I'm trying to find a balance, but being both is bizarre. I've been a human being in the moment, playing my part, and I ain't really scheming. I'm just showing light to the dark, and I ain't really dreaming. I'm just waiting on Noah's Ark. I've been really fiending for a moment that I can be just me, young, wild, and free. Hold on, okay, I'm icy with the art like I paint on a cold canvas. I'm so focused, it's hard to be romantic. And I be chosen, I'm going to go frantic. I'm with the Holy Ghost, I don't pull up in no phantom. I'm so handsome, but looks don't matter. That's a good point, like an and one. I'm locked in like a laser on a handgun. No option, slavery ain't never had none. My God is the only perfect companion. You can't box this, I'm focused on my expansion. I'm so radical, they wanting me for ransom. They just finna send my butt to heaven in a mansion. I'm outside the box, feeling outstanding. I need to live outside, I'm so outlandish. The devil can't touch this, I'm MC Hammer. If you don't get the picture, better get a new camera. It's hard to be a G when you're staying true to G-O-D. That's facts, come on. It's hard to be beneath when you're trying to reach the T-O-P. That's facts, come on. It's hard to take a seat when you standing on your own 2 feet. That's facts, come on now. I ain't trying to keep the peace, I'm trying to get you out of your sleep. Come on. I ain't trying to keep the peace, I'm trying to get you out of your sleep. I ain't trying to keep the peace. I ain't trying to keep the peace. I ain't trying to. Homies couldn't kick it. They told me I wasn't dumb enough. I was meditating while they was filling another cup. People medicating. I promise that I ain't judging you. I'm just trying to motivate the millions that is coming up. I can see the picture. I know the world isn't loving us. Try to keep your head up. They gon' hit you with the uppercut. I can see the crooked politicians haven't done enough. I do not be looking cause I'm perceiving some other stuff. I'm receiving healing from Mother Earth. She's incredible. Eating off your body. I'm thinking God that you edible. Eating on your vegetables, snacking on your medical. People opposing all your promises are not credible. Turn your back on me, that is something that she will never do. Serotonin chemicals bring me spiritual residue. Ignorance is bliss, that is something that I never knew. But sometimes being real don't ever come with all the revenue. And I don't need the money though. God bless, man. It's for the kids. Kid friendly, get at me, man. The friendliest kid on Instagram. The friendliest kid, 2 Ds on kid. No spaces, man. God bless.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's episode of Mental Notes Live. Special shout out to my guests, Timo Wilson and Kid Friendly. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode as much as I did. If so, be sure to hit the like button below and don't forget to hit the bell to turn on post notifications. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.